So easy that was. Welcome back to the Dutch and Denver podcast. I am Dutch. I am in and around Denver, and it's podcast time, man. I know we're late. Sorry, but it's just what happens. I get busy. I get bored. I've been playing the shit out of zombies with Felipe and Pika. Not the chef. Couple nights, and then that's about it. What have you guys been up to? Respond. All right, we gotta talk. Actually, first of all, let's cover the sports stuff that we don't really have to talk about, but I gotta talk about it. And then we can talk collectively later. All right, man. First of all, the Avs are really fucking bad. Like this is I don't know what the problem is. Well, I know exactly what the problem is. We have no goaltenders. Zero. We have no good ones. We have no bad ones. We have three fucking terrible ones. And that's not how you win hockey games. Okay. Also, we have injuries, which I'm is not an excuse because we just our goaltenders are fucking horrible. On and in's the only one that's not terrible, and he was on like a 4-game win streak, and then Jerry Bednar, which little Jerry, you're very close to me when you fucking dead. Which again doesn't really matter what I think, but it will matter when. Yeah, guy's on a 4-game streak, has 3 days off, and they don't play him because he needs to rest more and whatever. And then Gorgiev loses, then they play another asshole, and then back. This has got to go. We've got to figure out who the starting goalie is, and he needs to play 85% of the games. Unquestionably 85%, maybe more. This is the NHL. You're an athlete. Fucking play every game, nerd. This every other night off shit is dumb. It's ineffective, and not only that, they have a lot of injuries, but not really an excuse. Okay, the stars are not doing anything. The stars on the team are not doing anything. They look like they're in slow motion. They look tired. They look confused. They look out of shape. That's probably because Bednar mixes up the lines every period like an idiot. It's just, they're not in a good spot right now. We need a goalie, and we need some players back, but we also need the players to play their position. Uh, uh, Cale Makar just needs to quit being a defenseman and just go be a forward. Get another defenseman in there and just go be a forward. Or quit giving up 5 goals a game. You cannot win when you give up 5 goals a game, and even if you're the Avs. Okay? I mean, most games you can score 5. Not recently, because but this is not sustainable giving up 5, 6, 7, 8 goals a game, scoring 2, and getting your ass handed to you. It's not fun. I'm pissed. And, actually, what really matters in professional sports is me, the fan. You're not playing for anything else but me. It's a spectator sport. So start doing what I want or get the fuck out of here. The Buffs didn't play this week, but I'm not sure if I got in with the Buffs. Buffs look good. I'm very optimistic, but I don't want to say anything and jinx it. I mean, I'm ready, buddy. I'm ready for a Big 12. I'm ready for a spot. Because, I mean, let's talk about this. The other teams that are vying. All right, Oregon, obviously. Yeah. Georgia, fuck them, dude. Connor Beck is a retard. That kid sucks. I'm sorry. And he looks like an idiot. I mean, we shouldn't judge people on their look, but I am. He looks like he's no. Fuck Connor Beck. Guy threw like 3 picks. Fuck Georgia. They're not number 2. Well, maybe they are because I don't know who number 2 is. Clearly, Oregon's number 1. Okay. Miami, didn't look great. Ohio State and Penn State, that was like two shit teams that have been put on a pedestal, had to fight it out for a little bit. And that's exactly what they did. That's not a 3-4 team. Get them the fuck out of here. I know they won't, but get them the fuck out of here. Michigan's completely broken. Vandy, I don't know. Miami, I'll keep in there. They're fine. Let's see. Clemson, garbage. Oh, garbage. Texas was on a bye, but keep Texas. It's really like Oregon, Texas, Georgia, Miami, Illinois. Keep them in that thing. Then who? You got like 6 more teams to throw in there. I'm not saying the Buffs shouldn't be one of them, but I'm saying the Buffs should be one of them. Like if they went out, don't get me wrong. If they don't win out, no, you can leave them on the side. But I mean, if they went out, put them in there because I think Kansas dropped one. So now they're 6-2 and the Buffs are 5-2, but the Buffs have had 2 bye weeks or whatever. We'll get there. We just need BYU to drop some. Let's see. College football rankings. Football rankings today. Because I think, all right, here we go. Okay, so Oregon's 1. I don't know who the AP. Oregon's 1, yep. Georgia 2. Ohio State 3, no fucking way. Get them out of there. Dude, Miami is 9-0. Get rid of Ohio State. Texas is 7-1 with a better strength of schedule. Keep dumping Ohio State. Penn State, Ohio State. Get them out of the top 10. Tennessee, Indiana, BYU top 10. Notre Dame, Alabama, Boise State, SMU, LSU, A&M, Ole Miss. All right, Ole Miss should be way above fucking where they are. Yeah, we got Ohio State and Penn State need to get out of the top 10. Those are just loser teams that are propped up by money and a gay faggot fan base. We'll talk about that later. Don't worry. SMU, boys, but I mean, there's no way. BYU is 8-0. Indiana is 9-0. They, with Miami, 9-0. Their strength of schedule is stronger than Ohio State, Penn State, and Notre Dame without a fucking doubt. Get those nerds to the back of the pack. But they won't do that. Because if that happens, the little Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame nerds will riot and, then they'll go to the national championship, get the shit kicked out of them again. Like, look at Michigan, dude. There's no way you win a national championship and then go to awful garbage if you didn't have fucking help from almost everyone. Refs, NCAA, everybody. You weren't good. You didn't deserve that last year. You were handed it. And then your coach, who's a cheating piece of shit, gets out of Dodge and goes to NFL and no repercussions. Unlike SC, who when Pete left us, we got fucked for a while. Not fun. Whatever. Buster 21. Love it. Absolutely love it. Army 8-0, man, at 18. I know strength of schedule. We could talk about that later. Washington State 7-1. I mean, these are all teams that fuck these garbage Big Ten schools. You don't belong here. Whatever. SC's fucking done. Miller Moss and Lincoln Riley need to be burned at the stake. This is ridiculous. I didn't even watch all of the game last night because it was so fucking bad. I mean, the Avs were on, which was an equally dumb proposition. Miller Moss can't throw. I'm done with him, dude. Receivers can't catch. He can't throw. Lincoln Riley can't coach. Get fucking rid of these people. This is, I mean, unless you want to go be like, a crap school who every 10 years makes a push like Vanderbilt. If that's what you want, all right. You know, I will not be happy about that. And my displeasure has already been somewhat exposed in other private matters, but that's fine. Sports World Series. Dodgers won me a lot of money. I had them on a futures bet. But and I know this is late. But let's talk about again how East Coast teams are so incredibly overrated and propped up by ESPN that it's just not even funny. Like the Yankees had no shot against the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers literally kicked the shit out of them every game, and they got lucky one game. I mean, that was not a competitive World Series. That's an uncompetitive, shitty East Coast conference. And people are like, last year the Celtics, yeah, because the NBA, the refs, and a combination of everyone propped them up. There's no West Coast teams other than the Lakers who get propped up by the refs and the media. I mean, the media liked the Dodgers, but the Dodgers on paper were the best team in baseball. They finally clicked after 10 years of best team in baseball shitty performance. East Coast teams suck. All of them. They're horrible. Their fans are horrible. Their teams are horrible. Get them out of there. I mean, keep them there so West Coast and Midwest teams can beat them up. But I mean, this propping these guys up, they need to all rebuild. This is disgusting. That World Series was a joke. For, and then you have those asshole fucking fans who are, one of them is grabbing Mookie Betts' glove with a ball in it, tearing the glove open, and the other one's like going for the ball. And their only punishment was they got tossed from the game, and that's it. They actually got the price of their tickets refunded. That's the scumbag fans that are on the East Coast. Like, East Coast is absolutely the worst teams, the worst fans. I mean, other than loser Big Tens, yeah, we're on fire tonight. We're going to piss a lot of people off. That's why, that's the reason I hate Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame so much. It's not necessarily their teams, it's their fans. Like, you guys have no idea about sports. You just love them blindly no matter what. Almost to the point of like, you're a retard. Well, you are a retard. But I digress. Yeah, I mean, the World Series was a joke. The Dodgers absolutely destroyed the Yankees. The Yankees had no business being in the World Series. But that's what happens when you have a weak AL that you're trying to make the AL weak with, your designated hitter and all that garbage. These guys aren't built like that. Happy the Yankees won. Or I'm sorry, the Yankees lost, Dodgers won some money. All right, let's talk about things that are going to, was that all sports? And now let's do one more thing about sports. Well, it's sports, politics, whatever. So Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce's retarded brother, I guess at the Penn State game or whatever, some kid like called his brother a faggot or something. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. So Jason Kelce thought it'd be a good idea to go take that kid's cell phone and smash it. And people are like all on board with this. Like, yeah, go Jason and blah, blah, blah. And yay. I'm not. Okay. Let's. Holy shit. This is the problem with most of y'all today. Hold on. Gotta put a little choo in. Choo. All right, man. There's a problem with most of you. Some little feller says something to you, and you don't like what they say, so you think it's a good idea to go destroy their property. No, I don't care what they say to you. That guy could have called you a faggot. You don't just get to go destroy his property. And I mean, that's a bigger thing with liberals because we all know that Travis and Jason have come out and been like, hey, we're cucks for our women and we're going to vote Democrat, whatever. But dude, come on. You're an NFL star. You're walking through the crowd or whatever. I'm not even sure you'd be an NFL star if it wasn't for your brother. Or you crying when you lose or whatever. Doesn't matter, man. But come on. You're a public figure. You're walking through the crowd and some kid's like, hey man, your brother's a faggot. And you know what you're supposed to do? Keep on walking. Like, that's the thing to do. Just keep on walking. You don't have to stop. You don't have to acknowledge that. I mean, if some guy was like, the sky is green, would you stop and be like, oh, fuck that, and like force his face up? No. Because let me tell you something, Jason, you little queer pussy faggot. I'll call you that. And if I knew where you would be at, I would say that to you too. Okay? I'm not afraid of you or anything like that. I'm not afraid of anybody, but I probably should be, but I'm not. Sticks and stones, pussy. Good God. I mean, if someone says something and hurts your feelings, you don't go destroy their property. Call them gay back or do something. But that's not a man standing up for his brother or anything like that. You're an NFL player. You're publicly kind of famous for God knows why. Just let it go, dude. Keep on walking. But I mean, that's a bigger, dome of the Democrats is someone says something I don't like, so I have to act like a complete fucking wackadoodle and get them canceled or banned or burn down stores or loot something or just be a degenerate piece of shit, and not the good degenerate, just a piece of shit. Also, why it's a story, I don't know. But again, dude, like, if some college kid calls you a faggot, walk away. Like, keep on walking. Sticks and stones. Did you not have good parents? Yeah, now I'm attacking your parents and you get mad at that. No, you're not, because this is a podcast that like 3 people listen to, and I'm pretty sure I'm 2 of them. But come on, dude. He was not in the right at all. Move along. Keep walking. You could have yelled something out like, hey man, fuck you. That I would have been fine with that. But grabbing the little kid's cell phone and smashing it, that's just, that's a bitch move. Especially, I mean, if he hits you, if he like throws his cell phone at you and it hits you, yeah, smash that thing. If you just holler something out, ignore it like you're an adult. You can't ignore what people say. And you do not have to have a physical retaliation. That's part of being an adult. You would not believe the amount of things that people say about me throughout my life. And you know what? I didn't destroy their property. I just brushed it off because I'm not a little bitch. That's what it comes down to. If somebody's like, hey, Dutch, you're a faggot, it's like, all right, you have a nice day. If somebody's like, hey, Dutch, your brother's a faggot, I'm like, okay, you equally have a nice day. Because also, I know that's not true. Like, married with kids, I mean, he might be a closet, and I don't know. But that's no reason to go destroy someone's property. And yeah, it was just a cell phone. But I think that's a gross overreaction to just a random random put down. Unless, and here comes conspiracy theory, that kid was right. Fucking Travis Kelce is a faggot and a loser, and we hate him. Which I think is more likely than him not being. So, because, you get real butthurt when, like, people are like, dude, they yell, they talk shit about you, but it's true. Somebody's like, Dutch, you're a bad fisherman. I mean, I don't give a shit because I think I'm a good fisherman. But if someone is like, yeah, you're a bad basketball player. I'm like, fuck you, because I am a bad basketball player. Or I wouldn't care because, again, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me because I'm not a fucking loser. Especially words from some idiot college kid who's probably been drinking all day. Even if my close friends are like, Dutch, you got a drinking problem. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Okay. It wouldn't hurt me. Maybe we could discuss it later, but it's not going to hurt me. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, and then go like key their car or something. Because I'm not an insecure little bitch. Which I think Jason Kelsey is based upon his reaction. That's not a normal reaction. And a lot of people are like, yeah, he stood up for his brother. Blah, blah. No, that's not how people react. That's not how secure and normal people react. Most of us just ignore it. And then most of us would respond and be like, hey, man, fuck you. And move along. We don't go smashing people's phones or property. That's a... No, I almost said no, they're Democrats. I meant that. That's exactly how these whack jobs think. Also, they kill squirrels and raccoons. Have you guys heard about this, man? I don't know the full story, but it sounds like there's some guy who had a pet squirrel that he rescued and or a pet raccoon. Sounds like the dude had a lot of pet shit. Not weird stuff like, well, not crazy stuff. He didn't have like a giraffe, a rhino, a lion, a tiger, and crap like that. He had a squirrel that he made a TikTok for. And I guess it had a lot of views. I've never heard of this until it happened. But I guess in New York, one day the cops and everybody like raided his house and found this squirrel and raccoon, took it to the shelter and, offed its ass. To me, not a huge deal. Like, I don't know. Why? That's my main question. Like, who cares? Some guy wants to have a TikTok squirrel. Why are we bothering him? A lot of people are saying you don't have a license. I don't think you should have a license to have a squirrel to be a pet. That's kind of dumb. Also, to have your house swatted and searched with like, a bunch of judges and stuff that had to go through this warrant process seems a little silly. A lot of silly. Seems kind of like there was a vendetta there. I don't know the whole story. What I know is that there's a guy in New York that had a pet squirrel, and the cops broke into his house, and I'll say broke into because you should not have a search warrant to find a squirrel in some dude's home. Broke into his house, found the squirrel, took it to the vet, and had it killed. That's exactly what happened. Probably a raccoon too. Fred and Peanuts, I guess. But this is like a bigger picture because the election's pretty close, and I'm gonna get political for a little bit. Because some of this is just nonsense. Like the squirrel and the thing. New York, Democrats. This is what Democrats do, okay? You don't have a license for your little squirrel. We're going to come raid your house. You're going to sit in the corner for 5 hours while we search your house. We're going to check your wife's immigration status, even though we don't check anybody else's. We're going to do all this stuff. We're going to find your squirrel, your raccoon, and we're going to take him down to the vet and have him euthanized. Like, this is a complete, utter, ridiculous fucking thing to happen. And you can't even say, what about Trump? Trump has not done anything nearly this crazy. And I know Kamala didn't do it, but her cabal did. This was a Democrat thing. New York is a Democrat state. These were Democratic law people, Democratic judges, Democrats. Big D. Absolutely insane. But yeah, I guess this is what our country's after, I mean, if you're a legal immigrant, and we'll pay for you to come here, but if you're an illegal squirrel, boom, you're dead. Fuck you. All right, moving on. Now we're getting super political. Um, our Colorado Secretary of State, I think, yeah, Jenna Griswold, who is a partisan hack. Like, I mean, there's absolutely no denying this. The Secretary of State is in charge of like registering businesses, voting, things like that. Supposed to be pretty nonpartisan, just because you don't want a partisan person in charge of voting. Like, that's a bad plan. But this woman is awful at her job. And she was elected because people were so fed up with all Republicans after Trump that they just like, we had a great Secretary of State that we just dumped for this crazy bitch. Horrible mistake on Carla's part, but we have her now. And she has done nothing but fuck things up. And not even like partisans not even like, only for the Democrats. But she has come out absolutely 100% pro-Democrat. Like, she wanted Trump off the ballot. That's not a thing a Secretary of State should do, speak on, or have anything to do with. Okay? There's strike one. She's got like 900 other strikes. But it turns out that also her office has posted the passwords to the voting machines on the Secretary of State or the Secretary of State website or some website. Like, it was open to the public that you knew the passwords to these, and it was there for a while, long while. And then she found out about it, did nothing, and like a week later, a whistleblower, and now we're not sure she's doing anything about it. Couple things. Apparently, our voting is still safe just because, like, just knowing the passwords is not enough. You gotta like know the passwords. You gotta physically get to the place and go through a bunch of security to fuck with things. Fine. I just, from a purely principle kind of thing, if you're leaking passwords to any type of voting stuff on the internet, you should be fired or resign immediately. Now, even if it's two-step verification, if you give away step one, you are awful, awful, awful at your job, and you should get the fuck out. But that's Democrats for you, because it's a Democrat who did this, and Colorado's super Democrat now, and it's really fucking annoying, but whatever. But I mean, this is insane, and nobody really seems to care except the spineless Republicans in our state who are doing nothing about this. Not fun, not cool, whatever. Okay, let's talk about more, I don't know if we're going to say generalized or more macro things. Actually, let's do one more thing about Colorado. Colorado's got a thing that's, I think it's 127, where they want to ban the hunting of mountain lions, lynx, and bobcat. I thought I was a definite no, because I thought that this was a prelude to banning all hunting. I'm still a no, but I'm not a no if this bill or amendment or whatever it was rewritten to be better. So what it is that one side wants to ban the hunting of bobcats, mountain lions, and lynx, cats, big cats. And the ones who want to ban it, I think there's two sides to that individually. You have the crazy liberals who just want to ban hunting. And that's what I was really against. Like, this was their, getting the foot in the door to ban hunting. But then there's also the conservatory guys who want to ban that type of hunting because it's trophy hunting. And that's how I wish they would have reworded it, that to ban trophy hunting, I'm good with that. I don't think you should hunt just to mount or taxidermy the animal. I think you should hunt to harvest the animal and the meat that comes with the animal. Now, if you eat mountain lion, we'll use mountain lions, okay, because that's what the main thing is. If you hunt the mountain lion and you kill it and you harvest it and eat the mountain lion meat, we're good. But if you just want the skin, the head, something like that, I'm not good with that. That is trophy hunting, and I am not okay with trophy hunting unless the population of the trophy is affecting the ecosystem, which I personally don't believe that's happening, because mountain lions, deer, and elk have got along for a lot longer than we've been around. Now, if we're shrinking their ecosystem and forcing them closer together, and there's a bunch of mountain lions that are killing a bunch of deer, and the population of the deer and elk and other, prey animals is being affected, I think we should look at us instead of them. One of the arguments, though, I heard this guy, some colonel, was saying that they are good for chronic wasting disease. I don't know about that. I haven't done enough research. I cannot speak to that. They say they have, but again, I don't want to trophy hunt. I think that is wrong. And like, we had an ex-Bronco, Derek Wolf, that said he saved their little town from mountain lion, but yet he had to go out and track it in the middle of the night and blah 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 and all that. All right, you weren't saving it for. If you have to go track it, it means it wasn't in your backyard hurting people. So you're a scumbag piece of shit, and I will stand by that. If a mountain lion is on your property and it is coming at you, shoot it. If it's coming at your dog, shoot it. Kid, wife, person, or property, shoot it. If it's affecting that, shoot it. Livestock, shoot it. Now, if that mountain lion sneaks in the middle of the night and gets one of your cows, eats it, and runs off, you don't get to track it. You need to catch it on your property in the act. You don't get to track it and get rid of it. I'm sorry. That's the circle of life. So I think what Derek Wolf did was a scumbag thing to do. And unless you're eating mountain lion meat or bobcat or lynx meat, I don't think you should hunt them. Other than if it's on your property, currently endangering something that you own or love. But if you have to track it, even if you have 10,000 acres and your herd's on the left and it's on the right, you don't get to go get it. You got to wait for it to come to the trap. Wait for it to get a cow and then shoot them both. That's where I stand on that. Yeah. I don't like trophy hunting. I think you should harvest and eat what you kill. That's why, I talk to all my friends about fishing. Like, well, Dutch, do you keep them? It's like, no. I catch and release. Trout's good, but it's not great, Yeah, and walleye's good. If I went walleye fishing, I'd keep it go. Pike's not good. Let it go. Also, the other thing is, if it's an invasive species, I'm okay with you going nuts. Like collar doves, get rid of them. But they're good eating. So, shoot a bunch of them and eat a bunch of them. Do not trophy hunt, though. I'm not okay with that. I think that's a very bad thing. And I think that this bill 127, I think it's 127, should be rewritten as a trophy hunt kind of thing. Like, if you harvest it, if you kill it and you eat it, you can do that. But if you're just killing it for a trophy, That's wrong. And if you have to track it outside of your immediate, they're wrong. Okay. That's where I stand on that. But since it was so poorly worded, I still had to vote no, I do not want to ban that. I will tell people who trophy hunt big cats, you're a fucking loser. I will explain that to them, and then they'll probably smash my cell phone and whatever. But that's fine. Okay, moving on to more, we're getting more and more macro. There's a lot of commercials going around, or more things on the internet that I'm seeing that are like these men are pressuring their women to vote for Trump, and then they go to the polls and they lock eyes with another woman and they secretly vote for Kamala. And I covered this on the last podcast, or maybe the one before, where I think who you vote for should be private to an extent. Inside your domestic relationship, I'm not entirely sure it should be private because, if one of you votes for the devil and the other votes for God, that probably isn't going to work. But I'm more of a generalized thing. If you have to hide your vote from someone, it's probably not a good vote. Like if you're hiding something, that's probably not a good thing. Like if you're sneaking candy bars, probably because you're fat and you shouldn't be eating candy bars. If you're sneaking shots of booze, probably you're an alcoholic and you shouldn't be doing that. So if you have to lie to someone about who you're voting for, you probably shouldn't be doing that. And I'm not saying there could be two things. If you have to lie about who you vote for, you should A, probably not be with that person, or B, probably not vote for that person. If you have to lie about it, and if it's hidden, and there's no ramifications, like on a union vote, obviously we have to keep that secret. We shouldn't have unions to begin with. But, a union vote, like if I voted against a union boss, they're going to screw me. But nobody's going to know that if I voted for Trump, and Kamala gets elected, she's not going to personally come after me. I mean, she probably will, but that more generally, not personally after Dutch. So if you're hiding your vote from your significant other or your family, it could be that your family's, like crazy Democrats or crazy Republicans, and you don't want to start that fight. But if you're hiding it from your significant other, like your wife or husband, that's not a good thing. That's an unhealthy relationship and maybe not a good choice. And Trump is not running those ads like, hey, secretly vote for me. Kamala is. And usually that's a bad thing. If you have to do something in secret, it's usually not great. Usually, there are some exceptions. I get that. But if you're hiding it from your relationship, that's not a good relationship. I'm sorry, it's not. Like it's people who like lie about how much money they spend in relationship. That's not a healthy thing. So lying about who you're voting for is not a healthy thing. And I think it's a bad look for Kamala, but she has a lot of bad looks, like the blatant lying. Okay. I understand that all politics lie. I mean, Trump lies, Kamala lies, they all lie. They are all bad people. You have to understand this. The politicians this year who we're voting for are not good people. None of them are. One of them is less bad than the other, but they're bad people. Okay. Now, Trump lies, yes. But Trump says a lot of truthful things and sprinkles some exaggerations in there, which, yes, are lies. Okay, but he doesn't blatantly just make shit up in the entirety of his political ad. For instance, the Democrats have latched on this and say that if Donald Trump is elected, his is the important part here. His Project 2025 is going to happen. Project 2025 has nothing, not zero to do with Trump. That is a downright fucking lie. That's it. It is a downright utter lie. Trump is going to ban abortion is an outright utter lie. That's Trump got people in the Supreme Court that overturned Roe v. Wade. All that did was put abortion to the states. That's all it did. It didn't ban it on the federal, nothing. Now, if the states had banned, that's a state thing. That's not a Trump thing. I don't understand how we don't get this. Now, yes, Trump is not perfect. Okay. The guy is far from it. But Kamala is an empty shell of anything that resembles a human. And this is starting to get where it's kind of important. Because again, in Colorado, we get no Trump ad. Well, some, but mainly Kamala. And she says, I'm going to stop price gouging. And then followed by lower grocery prices. So what that means is she thinks, or she's lying to you, because everyone knows this. And if you don't know this, you're an idiot. Grocery stores are not price gouging you. The only reason that shit is higher in prices at the grocery store, and we're going to talk specifically about that, is because of the Democrats. They have made the cost of providing groceries more expensive. Okay? Grocery stores work on the smallest of margins. That's not a debatable thing. It's a fact. That's why if you work at a grocery store, you don't get a discount. Ask them. Any of them, Kroger, Safeway, King Super, Sprouts, no, you don't get a discount because their margins are so small that they work in volume. The grocery store is not price gouging you. The Democrats are running that price up with their dipshit policies. Okay? That is how that works. I cannot explain that to you any fucking simpler. She's full of shit. Secondly, guys, she has been the vice president for 3.5 years. Longer now. Okay? She has been lockstep with Joe Biden. If you think things are going well now, then yes, vote for Kamala. But things are not going well now. Like she says, shit's more expensive. Houses are expensive. Groceries are expensive. Everything's more expensive. Afghanistan was a complete and utter fuck up. All of this was under her as the vice president. Okay? Now, you believe that, Joe Biden went and did his own thing and Kamala was against all of it. But I hope you don't, because that isn't true. They were lockstep together on all this. This is the Democrat agenda. This is what they want. And this is what they've implemented. For the past 16 years, we've had Democrats. Sorry. 16 of the last 20. We had 2 terms of Obama, 1 term of Trump, and 1 term of Biden, Kamala. Okay? So, for 16 of the last 20 years, we've had Democrats. Do you think things are going well? And if you do, vote for Kamala. Now, if you're not a complete fucking idiot, I mean, you gotta admit, I mean, things were better under Trump. Policy wise, again, that's all we're talking about. Yeah, he tweeted some dumb shit. He says some crazy shit, all that stuff. But for the most part, policy wise, and your life was probably better under Trump. And if it wasn't, I would like to actively engage you and tell me why it wasn't. What did Trump do that was so terrible that just ruined your life? Now, if it's something crazy like, well, I couldn't chop off my kid's dick and turn him into a girl, I can't accept that. That's not a thing. And, if it wasn't like, well, I couldn't kill my baby, okay, that also doesn't count. But shit was cheaper. The economy was better. We were stronger. We didn't have wars. I mean, all this stuff. And yes, again, I understand he is not the most diplomatic person socially. I get that. But neither is Kamala, neither was Joe, neither was Obama. People are like, where did the divisiveness come from? It came from Obama. For 8 years, he told us everyone on the right is horrible Nazi fucks. And if you didn't see that, it's because you believed it. This is just, I mean, it's getting to a point that, I mean, this is people who are like absolutely fucking retarded versus kind of dumb. Because, yeah, if you vote for Trump, you're kind of dumb. But if you vote for Kamala, you're a fucking idiot. She's been in charge for 4 years. 3.5. What have they done that has made your life better? Yeah, again, if your whole platform is single issue voting, then yeah, I get it. I really do. I think you're wrong, and I think you're a bad person for that. But so it'll be super interesting, but this is getting to be almost too fucking much. I can't wait for fucking Tuesday just to get this shit over with. And again, it's not going to change. If you think your life is going to be markedly different under Kamala, you're retarded. Unless you think like your life is great now. And if you think that, you're again equally retarded. Your life probably isn't going to be drastically better under Trump, but it will be better. You'll have more money, shit will be cheaper, things like that. Okay. You're probably going to have to deal with some mean tweets. Okay. But I mean, mean tweets, or like here in Colorado, there's no eggs on the shelves for some reason. And I think it has to do with we're all going cage free, or I don't fucking know. It's probably part of it, but there are no eggs at King Soopers in Colorado. There aren't even the fancy organic ones. At least not in the last, since I was at the store 4 days ago. Okay. So this is not like a thing. Okay. Trump is not going to implement Project 2025. Okay. He doesn't even, he's a populist. He doesn't give a shit about that. He is not going to ban abortion. He cannot ban abortion. States can ban it, and that is, you should pay more attention to who you elect as state representatives and state senators. But Trump is not going to ban abortion. He can't. Just like the federal government was unable to codify abortion. That means make it legal. Or they didn't. Okay? Trump's going to stop a bunch of illegals from coming over and fucking shit up. And they are. Okay? I mean, we're paying for them to come over and rape and murder people. And if you're so goddamn worried about abortion, you probably wouldn't have to worry about it if you didn't have a bunch of Mexicans and illegals. Not all Mexicans, but you know what I mean. Illegals fucking raping people. Not even, I mean, South America, Asia, Middle East, they're all coming over here and fucking things up. Trump's going to probably stop that. Kamala will not. She's the border czar. She has not done that in 3.5 years. I don't know how you would ever think that she will make that better. She's had 3.5 years to make the economy better. Has not. Yes, the stock market is higher, but it's not because of them. It's just that's how that works. It's always going to be higher. It's higher now than it was in the 20s or the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. The volume's bigger. That doesn't mean it's better off. Your stocks, you might have more money in the stock market, but your groceries cost 10 times more. So it negates itself. I don't understand how, and I know that there are people who hate Trump with an undying passion. And all I'm asking is to look past the person and go with the policies, because he's just one man. You will get the policies that, benefit this country. When the Democratic policies for, again, the last 16 to 20 years have not been great. We have not been flourishing. Yeah, prisoners can get tranny surgeries and you can kill your babies and all that stuff, but I wouldn't call that flourishing. I would call that you being a selfish prick, to be honest. And, leaving here, I would just ask that you dig deep and just look. And I know a lot of people won't. Most people, your minds are made up. You either love Trump or you hate him. You either love Kamala or you hate her. But look deep and say, hey, who is really going to be better for the country as a country? Take your emotions out of it. Okay? And I know we vote with our hearts sometimes, but for once, not once, but let's vote with our brains. And if you truly think that Kamala is going to be better, although, again, she has a track record of not being better. And like I said, I would love to, and it will never happen because I don't think enough people listen to this. But I also don't think that people have enough guts to defend their stance. Also, I don't think you have to defend your stance. But I mean, I've asked for a long time. Just give me one liberal, or 2 or 5 or 10. I don't care, to come on and have an actual discussion or debate about what's going on and the merits of. But I don't want to hear Trump's a racist. He's not a racist. That's the dumbest goddamn thing in the world. Nothing he's done has been racist. We don't have laws in this country that are racist anymore unless you're a Democrat. And then, yeah, we absolutely have racist laws. You got to give the black guy, the brown guy, everybody else a job ahead of the white guy. That's racism. You understand that, right? Of course you don't. Because you're so blinded by Trump derangement syndrome that you don't see it. It's like there's a thing on the internet, like, I don't know, a month or so ago. They were talking about like men's health. And I can't remember the original tweet or even the subsequent tweets, but it was like, men don't care about their health because if they did, they would have like men's only clubs and, they would hang out with men's only and they would do stuff for their mental health. We did that. And then every woman, or not every woman, but then the women injected themselves into it and they had to be a fucking part of it. Because we had to have equality. We don't need equality. I can have a men's club that women aren't allowed at. You can have a women's club that women aren't allowed at. The government cannot have that stuff, but I can, and they can. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I can have a club that black people aren't allowed in. They can have a club that white people aren't allowed in. The government cannot, though. And that was, the whole thing is like, yeah, we used to have men's clubs, and then women fucking barged their way in and they demanded this equality crap, which I'm all for. I think men and women are to an extent equal, but also we're not even close to equal. Generally, men are stronger. Women are more, I think affection is the wrong word, but that's what I mean, Yeah, men generally can lift heavier things than women. Women are more nurturing than men. Okay? We don't have to be equal on that. And I should be able to have a club that women aren't allowed in. Fuck, I should be able to have a club that, guys who are over the age of 40 shouldn't be allowed in, or under 20. This was the thing, men's health also, men's mental health. I'm so fucking tired of hearing about your people's mental health. Just get your own fucking lives together. You don't need a mental health day. The biggest thing I have an issue with, not the biggest, one of them is like streamers who are like, I just need a mental health day. No, you don't, dude. You play fucking video games for a living. You don't need a mental health day. Well, fuck that. You don't have to read chat. You don't have to do any of this. Quit being a little bitch. And that's what I think we've lost that a little bit, that people are too soft, and it's just, holy shit. We've come so far from where we were, and I don't think it's good for us. But there are some things that we have done that we've progressed and have been good for us. But by and large, I mean, it is not good. I mean, some of us can't figure out the difference between a man and a woman. And I've said that before, but that is not a good thing. There's a very big difference between a man and a woman. And it's that way for a reason. And they don't have to be equal in everything, but they're generally equal. I'm better at some things than a woman. She's better at some things than I am. And it all comes out in the wash and relatively equal. But yeah, so the main point is, hey, if you haven't voted yet, definitely go out and vote. But I want you to maybe go a little more logical this time and a little less with like your emotions and, just the crazy shit. And also do a little fucking research, man. I know it's so hard. I really do, because I know that CNN, MSNBC, all of them just jam Democrat shit down your throat. And if you watch that, you don't know anything other than that crazy crap. And if you watch Fox News, you don't know anything other than that crazy shit. And even Twitter, like, I don't know what's fucking wrong with the For You page, because mine is like Democrat propaganda insane. And there's Democrats I know that are like fucking insane Republican propaganda. It's just, do your own research, man. Just read the words that is in the amendment, the bill, the proposition, whatever. And again, like I said, I mean, Trump, yeah, you're going to get some mean tweets and stuff like that. But Kamala is an empty shell of a human. She has no platform. For the past 3.5 years, has done nothing but fuck us 6 ways from Sunday. And I'm not saying Trump was perfect. I'm just saying lesser of two evils. So I guess, without putting too fine of a point on it, I encourage you to vote for Trump. But if you really can't, and not just because of your emotional attachment to some single issue or something like that, I guess I can respect that. But it's got to be more than I want to kill my baby, or mean tweets, or hey, he's not a rapist. Okay. I mean, felon, chalked up charges, all this stuff. Look at this from a logical standpoint. And if I'm missing something, fill me in. But you won't, because we can no longer engage in a constructive dialogue because we're so divided. And it is the Democrats. I'm sorry. They're the ones that started the whole, if you're not on our side, you're an evil Nazi. No Republican has ever called a Democrat a Nazi. Even though they are. I mean, they're the anti-Semites, which is the Nazis. Like, this is, I guess I don't understand. I understand the chasm, but I don't understand how we can be so far apart and people are like, well, I just can't see the other side. I get the other side. I get you don't like him because he's obnoxious, his haircut's stupid, he's orange, all this stuff. None of it's policy, though. There's no policy he's ever made that has been bad for you. He's a populist. He actually puts the people first. I mean, there's no policy that's ever fucked you that he's done, unless you're an illegal immigrant or a terrorist or some asshole like that, aka not an American. But he's always put the American people first. Can you say the same thing about the Democrat? Honestly, you can't. All right, with that, I gotta get out of here. I hope you go out and vote, and I hope some of this. I know I even say some inflammatory shit, but hopefully you're gonna go read your little blue books, your green books, whatever it is, and make an informed decision other than an emotional one. Because I'm not happy about it either. Let's be clear about this. I am not. I think this is the two worst candidates we've ever fucking had by leaps and goddamn bounds. But I think that there's a clear choice of better for citizens of the United States of America, policy wise. And again, I keep harping on it, but yeah, he's going to do some shit you're not going to like. But it's not going to be policies you're not going to like. He cannot affect that. Also, it means president. The president shouldn't be making policy. That should be up to the legislature. So if you really want to come down to it, his job is going to be foreign policy. And if you really want Hamas and all those assholes to run the world, fine. If you're a big fan of China, Russia, North Korea, Hamas, shithole countries like that, yeah, Kamala's your person, because she's gonna bend over for him. I promise you that. But technically, the president does not make laws and shit like that. That is the legislature. And again, if you don't get that, take a long look in the mirror. This is important. All elections are important. And I'm not going to say this is the most important of our lifetime, because we've all been saying that. I'm just saying, don't fucking believe everything you hear. Do your own research. And hey, man, let the revolution begin. Speaking of that, might do a live thing on Tuesday for a little bit. Just my time locally will be like 7 when our polls close. And then, like Mountain Time, a lot of East Coast stuff. Maybe some things will start to show. Let me know. I mean, nobody comments anymore. We used to have comments, now we don't. But yeah, let me know what you think. Should we do a election night? Because you can bet your ass something's gonna happen, obviously. And I'm either gonna be real happy or pretty blah. I mean, I'm not gonna be super bummed because, well, we'll talk about that on Tuesday. Yeah, let's do Avalanche are on. When are they? I was on Tuesday. I think like 7 or 6. All right, we'll figure it out. Hey, until next time, man. Probably Tuesday. Who knows? I appreciate everyone who watches. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Even if you don't like them, maybe they'll like me. Maybe they'll hate me more. Hate listeners are always great too. Until next time. Bye.